Hi, everyone. Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert here. Today, I'll be talking about the all-powerful ginseng, which is called Panax Ginseng. And this is one of the botanicals that is in my book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. And if you've been following my videos, I've been producing a series of videos explaining the detailed scientific findings on various botanicals that are in my book, which contains 109 botanicals. So I've been picking out a few here and there to share with you, just to let people know how amazing these botanicals truly are for the human body. So today, as I said, I'll be going over the scientific details of the research as the result of the research that I've done for this book and actually for my clients over the last 45 years. I've been just diving into the scientific literature, searching for alternative healing modalities for my clients. And I've actually, when I compile their nutritional healing protocols, I have found that these botanicals work wonders because they can contain so many phytochemical compounds and, of course, vitamins and minerals and enzymes when they're light energy active. And so you combine all of those nutrients, the body knows exactly what to do with them at the cell level. So once they are digested and they enter the bloodstream and they arrive at the cell membrane receptor sites, the identifiers that are sitting on the cell membranes in the human body, every single cell in the body, that's when the information, the readout happens between the cell's ability to read the information from the DNA of the plants and is able to decipher that information and utilize that to do our own body's cell repair work and regenerative work and cleansing and detoxifying work, activating, the hormonal system and aiding and in healing the nervous system so that the neurons are functioning and firing correctly. All these other multiple trillions of biochemical processes that happen at the cellular and micro, subatomic, subquantum energy level. These botanicals have been shown to really just return the body to its normal actual functioning. All right, so now I'm going to share screen here and I will show you. So this book, I'll put the links below if anyone would like to purchase my book from Amazon. You can go through my website also and take a look at the other books that I've published. But I like people to go through my website just to get all the free information that's there to help people improve their health. But the books that I've published in the last, I don't know, 15 years, 6 to be exact, and soon to be 7. So this is one of the ones that I published about almost 2 years ago, but it's been very popular with a lot of people, and they have been really enjoying and gleaning so much wisdom and knowledge that's been accumulated in the world's scientific research databases. And, it's all summarized for people here in this book. So this is a very invaluable piece of information that everyone has been really enjoying. I've been getting some very good feedback, 5-star reviews on Amazon, yay. So all the years of research that I put into the books that I write are really helping the world become a better place, because once a person improves their health, of course they're going to make more enlightened and energetic, creative, innovative ideas and just run their lives so much more efficiently and with so much better joy because they're in a higher place, body, mind, and soul. So that's been my experience in helping people get well over the last 45 years. And it's also really helping people to have something to go to, having a reference manual to consult every time they want to improve a certain area of the body. Okay, so things can go wrong, but as long as you stay in cooperation with nature and follow what my books are outlining for people, then you will have optimal health vibrancy. Once the body is properly nourished with a full array of nutrients that are known to science, then the body will definitely know what to do with those molecules and repair what needs repairing and returning the body back to balance. So this is the title of my book, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. As a matter of fact, I've got it on my shelf here. This is what the published version looks like, Potent Superfoods for Lifelong True Health. And yeah, it's a 531-page book. I had to cut it back 100 pages because Amazon only publishes books up to 500 pages. So I still have the original version, and maybe some publisher somewhere someday will publish the full version for me, but it's actually just been cut down. I cut down the font, I cut down excess language. I mean, I always edit and re-edit and re-edit and re-edit and re-edit my books. But for this one, I really had to just take a fresh look at it and really cut it back 100 pages. It was hard because once I finished the book and it was over 600 pages long, I really wanted everyone to get the full benefit of those extra 100 pages. But as it turns out, all I had to do really was just, adjust some of the lines in between the paragraphs. Once you go through a 600-page book and you just do that, that'll reduce it quite a bit. But also I use just slightly smaller font, Times New Roman instead of the nice Arial font that I normally use. But, all in all, I was able to fit it into this book here. But yes, it has more than just the scientific monographs for the 109 botanicals in it. And it also contains a phytonutrient database, all the phytochemicals in the plant kingdom that are so important for our health. And also it has a nutrition section, vitamins, minerals, what enzymes do and all that kind of thing, a basic nutritional manual built right in here. It also has a very important sort of a hybrid of an encyclopedia and dictionary in it. So you can't get away from the scientific terms that when it comes to trying to understand how the human body works and your own nutritional physiology. So I put that in there too, just so that people can have all in one source and they can just go refer to it for years and years and always have something to refer to whenever they need to. And it's great reading. I hear that people really can't put the book down. I created the scientific monographs for each botanical so that people can skim right through and just read right through all of the different scientific reviews that have been ever been done on a botanical. And, it's just a very concise reference so that people can come away with the knowledge that they need to truly manage their health and minimize having to go to our medical system that is collapsing. So people are going back to nature, going back to understanding how the body utilizes these very highly complex, very energy active, light energy frequency, elevated types of botanicals. And that's exactly what the body needs to repair itself. It recognizes these types of molecules. They go way back in our history. This is how we were created. This is how our holographic DNA operates. And so when we merge with these amazing living plants, then the body does know exactly what to do and repair what needs repairing. All right, so thank you for listening to my introduction to this book. And I know I've mentioned it before in other videos, but sometimes people just happen on one of the videos and they haven't seen the history or of the other videos that I have done on the various botanicals. I'm not going to do, of course, I'm not going to cover every single botanical in the book, but because, I want people to get the benefit of the full impact of what this book has to offer. All right, so anyway, this is my manuscript in my computer, so I can jump around. It is in ebook too, ebook form also. Okay, so you can check that out as well. All righty. All right, so this is like I said, this is the cover page. And let's go ahead and jump to the ginseng that I'll be talking about today. I'm going to just jump to Panax Ginseng here. And let's go right to it. All right, here it is. And scoot this over a little bit. Okay, so it is also known as the Panax Ginseng. That's what's usually labeled on packages when you purchase it online or go to a vitamins health food store kind of place. There's the other type of ginseng that I'll be covering next time, though, and that is the eleuthero. And so sometimes you'll see the name eleuthero on packages as well. They're not the same plant. They don't look the same. They have different properties. And the Panax, there's been a lot more studies done on the Panax ginseng than on the eleuthero. Not that the eleuthero is any less valuable, but let's go over the Panax ginseng and I'll show you what the peer-reviewed studies show and how exactly it acts in the body. So these are the root systems on the right here on this picture, and just a little, picture of how it's produced at certain places. Sometimes they're just managed right from the soil, on all these regenerative farms, permaculture farms, or organic farms. But in this case, the organic systems are grown out of pots. And I guess they're starting the root systems and then they're transplanting them so that they become larger like this. And they've got very deep root systems. They tap into the biomass, the nutrients in the soil, deep in the soil. So there's been thousands of research studies that have been performed on this particular ginseng, and it has demonstrated a diverse range of effects on the body's physiological processes in those with cancer, insulin resistance and diabetes, hypertension or high blood pressure, and nerve or neurodegenerative disorders. So there are a lot of nutrient compounds that are in this plant that have been shown to actually protect the body and improve how it works as far as the immune system and how the body regulates the blood sugar, and also how it regulates blood pressure, which is healthy kidneys, helps the kidneys become more functional, and also to assist in how the nervous system works and how nerve cells are working as well. So a lot of reports, extensive reports, reveal its effects on improving the immune system's functions, such as regulating its stability and enhancing the specialized functions of different immune cells that resist microbial invasions such as bacteria and viruses. So a formal review of scientific studies, so in other words, a panel of experts highly qualified to evaluate all the different studies that have ever been done on a particular subject, in this case, the Panax ginseng. So they have taken all these different studies and weeded out, the least credible or the least incomplete or the least compliant to standards kind of research studies. And a lot of studies aren't quite legitimate, and they don't follow the rigid standards in the scientific community that have been established over time throughout the world. So they pick the best of the best and they review those and they summarize it. So these reports reveal its effects on improving the immune system's functions, such as regulating its stability and enhancing the specialized functions of different immune cells. So we've got various immune cells that attack, and protect and invade anything that does not belong in the body. So they all do slightly different jobs in the body, and that resist microbial invasions like bacteria and viruses. All right, so these phytonutrient compounds I have found through the research show how exactly they disable like cancer cells or viruses in the body or anything that is foreign, that is not of self. And this is what the scientists have labeled anything that's invasive and pathogenic or illness causing, or that disrupts normal functioning, and damages the DNA and how cells replicate and how they are supposed to translate the original genetic code in the mother cell to the newly forming cells to ensure that the genetic integrity of the DNA is kept intact. So a lot of phytochemical compounds in the plant kingdom have been shown to protect that mechanism. All right, so yeah, immune cells like macrophages, those are the ones that eat up everything that doesn't belong in the body. Natural killer cells, they'll go and patrol the whole system and aha, you don't belong here, destroy. dendrite cells, things that feel their way around and pick out things and say, no, you don't belong here, you don't belong here, time to destroy this. T cells and B beta cells, these are all different kinds of cells that monitor our immune system or monitor our systems. These are all immune cells. Okay, so they have an aptoprotective effect, that is, have been shown to improve mental and physical performance and enhance the body's ability to take on physical loads without increasing the body's need for oxygen consumption. So this is what's great about the ginseng. Ginseng has been shown to improve the endurance and oxygen delivery to the muscles so that the body does not get tired. The body can do more physical work, more physical exercise, different kinds of exercise, more strength endurance, cardiorespiratory, cardiovascular endurance kind of thing. So ginseng has been kind of like the superhero when it comes to supplements for aiding people who are very physical and put more and more demands on their bodies. So it's been demonstrated its effect on mental work capacity as well, since it nourishes the nerves, the nerve cell, and the nervous system. Endurance and recuperation after physical loads were imposed exhaustively on animal test subjects in this one particular study by the group of scientists led by Olenek. Okay, back in 2013. So a lot of these studies go back 100 years. So the science of some of these plants have been shown over and over again for over 100 years. Every once in a while you have a group of scientists who say, well, let's examine another aspect of this particular botanical. So botanicals have a huge array of various different scientific studies that have been done over time. And that's a great way to prove that something really works. And as time goes on, of course, different scientists will examine maybe a certain set of phytochemical compounds that are in a plant, or they'll use the whole plant and they'll use a double-blind study where you have not even the people applying the substances and testing the substances on test subjects. Boy, that's a mouthful. So there's so many different ways to test a plant, and over time it has been shown synergistically or collectively to show how effective a certain plant can be. So it's also been found that it aids the body in controlling inflammatory diseases. So it controls the inflammatory response by nourishment and phytochemicals that actually attenuate the immune system's response to inflammation, or it neutralizes the free radicals that cause inflammation. So controlling inflammatory diseases and microbial infections. So of course, whenever the immune system is activated and it goes to work and it just creates this storm of immune cells on microbials that are causing an infection in the body, and bring that infection down to nothing, to just get rid of everything that causes an illness. So also, it has an aptoprotective effect. It's been shown to improve mental and physical performance. I just said that, and enhances the body's ability to take on physical loads without increasing the body's need for oxygen consumption, which I've already mentioned. Okay, it's demonstrated its effect on mental work capacity, endurance, and recuperation after physical loads were imposed exhaustively on animal test subjects. Okay, so in other words, it's been tested on mental work capacity as much as it has in physical work capacity. In Chinese medicine, it's been used for over 2,000 years. And in the comprehensive herbal text that they have called the Shizhen Li in Ben Chao Gang Mu, compiled during the Ming Dynasty, Panax Ginseng has been recorded as having anti-anxiety, antidepressant, and cognition-enhancing properties. So you can imagine, since then, much science has been, revealing the fact that it does nourish the nervous system and attenuate its optimal functioning. So Panax Ginseng contains biochemical constituents that have shown adaptogenic, restorative, immunomodulatory, vasodilatory, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-fatigue, antidepressive, anti-cancer, anti-stress effects on human test subjects and rodents. Okay, so it's important to throw in the human test subjects, of course, and there have been a lot of studies done on rodents because their systems are supposedly, allegedly similar to ours. Okay, like, whoa. But anyhow, that's just what science have found. And hopefully, there's not a lot of cruelty to animals during these, processes. It also contains bioactive agents of over 60 ginsenosides, and those are biochemical compounds exclusively found in this particular ginseng. Polysaccharides, really, really healthy complex carbohydrates, fatty acids, oligopeptides, or small protein compounds of 10 or fewer amino acids. These are really small proteins that get reduced to their submolecular levels in order for the body to build new protein molecules, and polyacetylenic alcohol. So various types of esters, alcohols that are byproducts in the human metabolism that are necessary at times. When the body has to take certain types of molecule groups, then it will use an alcohol. So not like the alcohol that we drink. These are much more minute molecules that the body knows how to use properly. Polyacetylene alcohols play a role in reducing cholesterol levels by inhibiting the acyl-CoA cholesterol acyltransferase enzyme, or ACAT, which plays a role in the absorption, storage, and synthesis of cholesterol. So it's very important how the body uses cholesterol. Animal fats are not the culprit. The margarine shortening industries over the last 60 years have led the public to believe that margarine is actually better, when in fact it is not. It is a trans fat, which means the body cannot break it down. Hence, the particles are just running, loose in the circulatory system and landing at cell receptor sites and choking off their ability to function, creating plaques, creating clots. And when you have damaged clots in the blood vessels that the immune system can't get to immediately, then those clots can become very dangerous. They can cause obstructions that lead to heart attacks and strokes. Okay, so it's very important to, when you're taking in fats, both plant and animal fats, that we have the right enzymes in the body to break those large molecules apart and utilize them properly. So in the next book that I am coming out with very soon, in fact, 2 books are ready to be published. One of them is just all about how, when you exercise, and how important it is to eat the right types of foods, including the right types of fats, so that the body can break them down and utilize all of those nutrients, all of those fats properly for all and a whole array of things. I'll go over, in fact, I do have a video that I have introduced already about the book, but I'll be producing another video just as I publish the book, so that people can get an idea of what's inside the book, kind of thing. So, I don't believe in judging a book by its cover. I want to show people what's in my books so that they can make a really informed decision as to why they need to buy my books, So it's all about giving the body what it needs. It's all about giving it the molecules that it needs to restore and repair itself. It has the capacity to restore its health, to repair itself, and to heal itself, and to prevent the disease process. Okay, so where were we? Let's see. Oh, yes, Mr. Olenek in 2013, and it's been used for over 2,000 years. I said that already. All right, so, okay. So Panax Ginseng contains biochemical constituents that have shown adaptogenic, restorative, immunomodulatory, vasodilatory, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-fatigue, antidepressive, anti-cancer, anti-stress effects on human test subjects and rodents. All right, that's where we were. Okay, so it contains bioactive agents of over 60 ginsenosides. Okay, that's where I was before, fine. All right, bear with me here. Polysaccharides, fatty acids, oligopeptides, those small protein compounds, polyacetylenic alcohols. Polyacetylenic alcohols play a role in reducing cholesterol levels by inhibiting the acyl-CoA coenzyme A cholesterol and the acyltransferase enzyme, which plays a role in the absorption, storage, and synthesis of cholesterol. Okay, so there's a lot of things that go into how our bodies handle cholesterol. So as I said, it's not the cholesterol, which is important for the cell structure of every single cell in the body. And on the cell membranes rests some cholesterol too, which keeps the cells pliable and flexible and less prone to damage. So people who bruise easily have very rigid cells, very dehydrated, very damaged cells. So you've got to get the right types of fats as much as any other food group. Then you have to put that all together to have the flexible and strong blood vessels. Okay. And to keep cholesterol from solidifying too. There's so many other factors that naturally keep the body's cholesterol from becoming the low density lipoproteins, the LDLs that we don't want. We want more of the high density lipoproteins or HDLs, so that the blood can continue flowing smoothly. Okay, so let's go on here. Okay, so the ginsenosides, these particular class of compounds in the ginseng, Panax Ginseng, have a stimulatory effect on the brain through the release of chemicals that affect cell-to-cell nerve signaling and biochemical pathways that result in improved alertness. So in other words, it helps the immune system function and fire those neurons and deliver to transmit information from one part of the body to another successfully without something going wrong, without the signal getting lost somewhere. So this is very, very important to stay with those proper nerve signaling in those biochemical pathways. So that's how a person stays alert. All the nerves are functioning and communicating properly. Ginsenosides inhibit inflammatory enzymes like the cyclooxygenase 2, also known as COX-2. So it's a COX-2 inhibitor and blocks biochemical pathways that lead to oxidative stress and therefore results in cell damage. So we want to make sure that the immune system recognizes when to throw in the inflammatory enzymes to let the body know there's pain and damage, and when to draw it back, to bring it back, to dial it back so that the body has had a chance to reduce its inflammation and let the immune system know that the damage has been healed. So sometimes the immune system goes haywire that way. It does not get the message, doesn't get the memo that it's supposed to. So sometimes people have this rampant inflammatory response and they're in pain and inflammation all the time. It affects the pH in the body. It has this whole cascade effect when you don't give the body what it truly needs. And in my 2 books coming out soon, I go through my whole entire nutritional synergy system. There's a little bit of that system in this particular book that I'm going over with you today, but I really get into the depth of your own nutritional physiology and even more deeply into what nutrients do. But this book is about the botanicals and getting people familiar with their own science, of having to do with their nutritional physiology and what plants do for the body. That is so important. So I'm hoping by now, if you've been following my videos, or if this is the first one you've encountered, you can see how much work has been done. You see how, like in the parentheses, I show the lead scientists of the power panelists that have been gathering all the different scientific research and putting it together into this concise form. And I just reduce it even more concisely, for people. So anytime you see the parentheses at the end of a section, then you know that that's taken from peer-reviewed studies. All right, so let's go back down here. We're talking about the COX-2. There's so many other inflammatory enzymes too, cytokines and whatnot. But yeah, these compounds really do help attenuate and help the immune system become more intelligent. It repairs the DNA of the immune system, so their detection mechanisms are improved as well. And therefore, your immune system is entirely able to detect what's wrong and just draw back, in the inflammation once the system is healing itself. So the phytochemicals, all these different wonderful plant compounds in the ginseng are known some of these are known as saponins, and they've been shown to increase neurotransmitters such as the dopamine, noradrenaline, and the 5-hydroxytryptamine, which indicate antidepressant effects. So these are the high, the natural high kinds of neurotransmitters that work with the immune system and regulate moods and this whole cascade effect that happens at the micro level. So one ginsenoside, was shown to attenuate nerve cell self-destruction, or also called apoptosis, after cerebral ischemia perfusion injury. Okay, which is tissue injury that occurs when the blood supply returns to the injured tissue after there's been an insufficient blood flow to the brain, along with a reduced supply of oxygen. So the ginsenoside phytochemical compounds in this wonderful plant will actually help improve nerve cell destruction and just don't allow a lot of the nerve cells that are damaged to go ahead and self-destruct. Instead, it is really key in repairing the injury. So another ginsenoside increased nerve stem cell growth and protected against nerve injury, and is therefore thought to play a role in the repair of the nerve cells' axons. So the axons, that's so important. I mean, we've got this nerve cell, and it looks a lot different than other cells in the body. In fact, I have just got to show you what that looks like. So let's do a picture. Axon, all right. So let's do an image on that, and you'll see lots of pictures of nerve cell axons. Okay, so let's just enlarge this thing here. And it is bringing it in for us. Okay, so you should be able to see that. So here it is. Here's the DNA in the nerve cell, the cell body, the dendrites, the nerve connections that communicate with other cells. We've got multiple trillions of cells in our bodies. So here's the dendrite and the nucleus. Like I said, here's the myelin sheath. It's very important to have the right types of fatty acids so that the nerve cell is properly maintained and built and can protect it from damage. Okay, and so we've got the axon terminals here, and this is where the communication takes place from nerve cell to nerve cell. All right, so that's what they're talking about here. Okay, so it will actually repair the nerve cells' axons. And also, another group of scientists have reviewed even more literature on various compounds in this plant. The ginsenosides have demonstrated protective effects in stroke, multiple sclerosis, and Parkinson's diseases. Now, again, going back to that picture of the nerve cell, this is so important to maintain. We have to have the right proteins, the right vitamins and minerals. These all play a role in building healthy nerve cells, the right types of fats, including, cholesterol from healthy animals. I wish that it were different, but we do need animal-derived protein and animal-derived fats as part of a complete healthful diet. The science is very clear on that, and I've done years and years of research just to verify and re-verify the fact that these types of fats are just as important as plant fats. Of course, our bodies store fat, but considering the toxins and pollutants in our environment, water, air, food, all these other things, even if we eat organic, pesticide drift lands on those foods, and we end up with a little bit of those too. If you're very, very clean about your diet, then you're going to have less of those types of toxic compounds that get stored in our fatty tissues, and not just under the skin, but on the nerve cell coating here, and also in the brain. Okay, so that's why these compounds are so important for maintaining the cognitive, as we age, and prevent the dementia. So once those nerve cells are damaged, then that starts to set in. All right. So in 16 clinical trials, here's another review. Assessments of insulin resistance resulted in Panax Ginseng significantly reducing fasting blood glucose levels in both those with diabetes and those without, compared to the control group of participants. These trials call for larger and longer randomized controlled clinical trials with standardized preparations of Panax Ginseng. All right, so when we're talking about standardized extracts, um, sometimes a supplement will have one particular, set of biochemicals extracted from the plant, but it also can mean concentrated, you know, uh, fluids of the entire plant, so that can mean different things. I believe this was just a saturated or concentrated extracts from the entire plant. That's what it usually has. That's what usually happens in trials. So a study that included members from a Korean longitudinal study on cognitive aging and dementia was conducted to compare the cumulative impact of taking ginseng. So it looks like they just used the whole plant. Researchers concluded that the cumulative use of taking ginseng for over 5 years may be beneficial for maintaining better cognitive function in advanced years of life. So LHO Low and his entourage showed that to be true back in 2018. So apparently some of these studies are, many years. A component of Panax Ginseng's ginsenosides, oleanolic acid 3-acetate, was shown to induce apoptosis. That's the self-destruction in ovarian carcinoma. That's the cancer, ovarian cancer, and endothelial carcinoma or endometrial cancer cells, and suppressed the growth of tumor cells in laboratory mice imposed with compromised immune systems. And so this was another group of scientists that got to work, and showed that to be true. So whenever I show et al, that's usually a peer-reviewed study. I stuck with peer-reviewed studies. Why look at one or two studies that are supposedly just not conclusive enough to make such assertions? Various phytochemical constituents in Panax ginseng have demonstrated the adaptogenic, anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, anti-fatigue, anti-stress, immunomodulatory, vasodilatory, blood vessels, antioxidant, and antidepressive effects on humans and animals. The various ginsenosides, also known as triterpenoid glycosides in Panax ginseng, are known to protect neurons and enhance memory and learning, improve cognitive performance, and protect against neurodegenerative disorders. Now, it's starting to sound a little repetitious, I realize, but these are different scientists from all over the world over time and different peer-reviewed studies of looking at the scientific work that's been done by reputable scientists who follow, the rigid guidelines of what it means to have a proper scientific study and credible, conclusive, evidence. So the various ginsenosides, also known as triterpenoid, I already said that, yes. Other phytochemicals in Panax ginseng besides ginsenosides include polysaccharides, like I said, the different wonderful long chain molecules of antioxidant sugars, flavonoids, which help build strong blood vessels, and volatile oils as protective antioxidants. And these volatile oils are known as essential oils. And when you extract the essential oils of a plant, is extremely potent, and it's a highly concentrated source of these phytonutrient compounds. Other phytochemicals in Panax ginseng besides ginsenosides include, said that. Ginsenosides, RB1 and RG1, as well as RD and RE. Scientists like to label everything, and they don't make any sense to the average layperson, because that's just what they decided to label all these different compounds just to distinguish them from one to the other. So they play a major role in protecting nerve cells or neurons. So RB1 has been shown to increase neuron cell lifespan and improve growth of nerve cell axons and dendrites, the projecting parts of a nerve cell critical for communication and transmissions between nerve cells. RB1 also protects the hippocampal neuron, which allows enhanced memory and ability to navigate one's spatial environment from ischemic damage as a result of a stroke. So people who have had strokes, they can't really navigate their environment. Okay, so they've got spatial relationships problems. So this has been shown to improve this function. So the ginsenoside RB1 has reportedly been shown to increase the uptake of choline, a nutrient vital for the structuring of cell membranes and to modulate acetylcholine, or ACH. It's a neurotransmitter in cell signaling important for the learning process and memory. So RB1 has also been shown to improve cognitive impairment, those having trouble learning or remembering, making decisions, learning new things, and also the hippocampus senescence, which is the deterioration due to aging, and it's the part of the brain that regulates emotions and maintains long-term memory. So as you can see, those of you who have had experience with a member of the family or someone you know with degenerative nerve disorders, it does affect their mood. A lot of times they get angry because who knows what's going on in their minds and their hearts, right? Because of the degenerative process going on in their systems. So this has been shown to actually improve that. Other attributes of Panax Ginseng's ginsenosides include repairing the structural damage of nerve cells and their functioning in neurodegenerative diseases. Such damage involves the loss of cognitive functioning and motor or muscular movements due to the loss of nerve cell structures and therefore nerve functioning. The systemic administrations of ginsenosides have shown improvements in nerve functioning in neurodegenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's, and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is a rare group of diseases that result in the inability to control voluntary muscular movements. All right, so that is the summarization of years of research and months on my part of going through all of these peer-reviewed studies and seeing their list of references of all the different studies that they looked at. Thank goodness, these peer-reviewed studies exist. Otherwise, we would spend years just getting lost in the labyrinth of all of these research studies. So these are the most credible studies that one can find in the world. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the ginseng, also known as Asian ginseng root. This is the root. That's the most potent part of the plant. And it's also in terms of Latin scientific terms, which is standardized all over the world. Every scientist in every country understands this Panax ginseng, which is based in Latin, and it's always listed in italics and parentheses. All right, so that's conclusion. That's the conclusion for the Asian ginseng root. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I realize that my videos are pretty long, and I hope that people will put them on pause and come back to them when they have time again to listen to more and more of them. And also, it's not necessary to watch the video. You can just turn the video on and listen to it, as if it were a podcast. So I appreciate everyone who is here, and I appreciate those who have subscribed. So if you like what you've heard here and you'd like to review all my videos and be notified of more videos to come, then please like, share, and subscribe. Please share, because that will get this video out to more people. And if you like the video, press the little thumbs up button, and that will also get this information to more people out there. So the more subscribers, then the more information gets shared through the algorithms. I don't know exactly what that means, but the algorithm all over the mysterious internet will get this video in front of people who truly, truly need it. Okay, so I don't believe in accidents in life. I think everything happens for a purpose. And so if someone is going to come across this video and it's life-changing and life-saving, then we've all done our part, to help improve the health of humanity, which is my ultimate mission, because I've seen the transformation process that happens when clients have come to me with all these different health issues, and I educate them, I show them the science, and I put together an individualized nutritional healing protocol for them. And so, and their health improves when they actually implement it. It happens every time, and it never ceases to amaze me how truly incredible the human body really is once we give it the right stuff. the right molecules, the right nutrient substances. So this is the stuff we're made of. This is what our bodies recognize. This is the very intricate information that our DNA recognizes and utilizes to change how the body works. Okay, so this is true health at work. All right, thank you so much for joining me.